Hello, fiber friends. I am in my new studio space at our new house, and I am so excited to kind of break in the space a little bit with a fantastic project. It's been a while since I have done any sewing to add things to my wardrobe, and the last time I did sewing, I didn't make a video about it. So I thought, what is a project I could do that's going to incorporate some hand spun yarn and also add a few more pieces to my wardrobe? I went shopping for some fabric and I found the cutest autumn fabric. So I'm going to make a couple of shirts out of this very cute, cozy, comfortable knit fabric. And then I thought I should make an accessory from some hand spun yarn. I have some yarn that I intended to put into a sweater project. I think it was a year ago, and I started working on a sweater with it and I just wasn't loving it. And I thought this isn't quite the right project that I had in mind for this yarn. It just didn't want to be, it wasn't coming together. So I put it aside into my stash and I thought someday the inspiration will strike and I'll think of what I want to do with it. And guess what? Today is that day. Inspiration has struck. We are going to make a triangle shawl. You know, this is kind of small. I really wanted to break in this new space with kind of a bigger, fantastic project. I'll be right back. Here it is. So we're gonna make a shawl on the tri-loom. This tri-loom has a 7-foot wingspan across the top, and this is what I'm going to use to make a shawl from my hand spun yarn. I love this loom. Mark made this loom for me. He did a lot of work to get all of these nails in it so that the wood wouldn't split. He did a fantastic job, and I haven't had it out to use for a while because it's pretty big, but I have this space now. So I am going to make a shawl with this tri-loom, and I'm going to use this lovely autumny kind of vibe yarn that hasn't been used in a project yet, and I think it looks amazing with this new fabric that I got. So I will also be making a couple of shirts to go with this. So I think this is big enough to have a fantastic first project to break in the new space. So I hope that you will join me for this journey. We're gonna have a lot of sewing and weaving and all kinds of things to get done, so we better get started. Everything is in a cake and it's time to get weaving. I like to put my yarn in a basket because it's going to go on the floor behind the loom. When I weave on this loom, the yarn will come up and over the top, and the basket keeps it off the floor and prevents it from rolling around everywhere because I don't want to chase yarn under my feet. So it's in the basket, and I have a tip. If you do any kind of shawl weaving with a tri-loom like this, if you are doing it in a way so that your first yarn is the yarn that goes across the hypotenuse, the top part of the shawl, that just because of the way that people pick up a shawl and pull it over their shoulders, and also because that top part holds the weight of the rest of the garment, it's a good idea to put whatever your strongest, thickest yarn is to go across the top. So I'm going to be using this yarn. It has a strand of the orange, which is merino, but it also has a strand of mohair in there, and it's really, really soft. So that's the other thing to think about too, because that part of the shawl is what will be on the back of your neck. You don't want that to be really itchy. Right? So choose your yarn wisely, and I'll be starting with this one. I also have another video that you can go check out. It has very up close detailed instructions on how to get a weave like this started, and it is using the smaller triangle, so it's a little bit easier to kind of see how things go across. This one's pretty big, but we need to get it started, so here we go. We're gonna kick it all off with a half hitch, and we'll pop that onto the first nail in the corner. And once we get over here, we are going to go under the top row of nails, up, around, and down. Then we bring the yarn coming off the figure 8 back across the loom. And now that is where it goes behind, and now we're ready to really start weaving. This was all kind of the setup. We're gonna do our first over and under and bring that down and tuck it over the next nail on the leg, and then back across we go. But this time, because it's doing the over under up here, I'm gonna have to kind of hold it so it doesn't get caught on the nails, and go all the way across the loop. Here we are. We're going to tuck it over the next nail on the leg. Just like that. Oh my gosh, look. We made fabric. We're making cloth. It's really happening. We're making a thing. Okay, so now I'm going to take this and go back across. I have some delicious tea for sustenance. This is cinnamon apple spice. It's so good. And I'm just gonna be doing this whole back and forth wrapping around the nails thing for a while, because it's gonna build its way all the way down. I'm almost finished weaving, and so I wanted to show you the last few pulls. I don't know if this is a pick, because we're creating the warp and the weft at the same time, and it's much more of a pulling, I don't know. Anyway, once you get to the last few that you're pulling through here, you really feel the tension wherever it ends up. Being very, very tight. You can't help it at this point. There's really nothing left that's very loose. So, yeah. Some of these feel a little tricky. If I have a shawl and I get to the end of it and it's just impossible to get my dowel rod through for some reason, the yarn or me or whatever happened, ended up making the tension very, very tight at the end. I've done it where I've just picked it through the whole thing with a small crochet hook, or I'll put it on a darning needle and just bring it down from the top. that way and sort of kind of sew it back and forth, which gets the job done and takes forever. So I avoid that if I can. I think the tension on this one is okay. I think we'll be okay. All right, so I get my over under in the right pattern there. Oh, it's pretty tight. Nothing feels like it's gonna snap, so I think we're okay. It's not that tight. And it's almost there. Yay, so that was it. That was the last one that I pulled through. So I'm gonna cut it and then I'll pull the extra tail down and then I'm going to weave in all of these ends from every time I change to color. The color changes on this, I just kind of randomly when I felt like it switched yarn, but you can make some pretty cool designs. I love how it just kind of, the way that the way that it's constructed, I love how it just develops its own plaid pattern. I think that's so cool. So yeah, time to weave in the ends, and it's easier to do that before it comes off the loom. So one other thing I do at the end as well is just to kind of readjust any of the warp threads so that they kind of line up better. When it comes off the loom and it relaxes a little bit, it finds everything settles down pretty well, but the center where there's a gap, because I had to get the tool through to pull the thread down, pull the yarn down, I like to just scooch everything around so it looks neat and tidy. Definitely got some tension. You can actually hear it and feel it vibrate, like, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. There we go. Now everything is all woven in and it's ready to fully come off the loom. Are you ready to see it? I am. I'm very excited. I love this part where it just pops right off the nails. Here it is, my shawl. Very, it's awesome. Very cool. Look at this. Oh my goodness, I love it. It's great. It's wonderful. So with this finished, it's time to sew some shirts. And I'm using this pattern. This is Simplicity S9273. And you've maybe probably seen me wear some of the t-shirts that I've made with this pattern. I have 3 that I've done. So the pattern's already, this is already cut out. I've already, you know, done sort of a mock-up to make sure it would fit me where I needed it to and everything, and I'm familiar with this pattern. So I'm just gonna get my fabric out and go ahead and start sewing.
this project was great. I love my t-shirts. They're so comfortable. And when I was planning how to do the reveal for this project, I thought I want to go out into the forest and have autumn leaves cascading down around me. But then I thought, no, this is my project for my crafting space to be comfortable. And so that's what I'm doing. I have my t-shirts, I have my beautiful hand spun and hand woven shawl. I'm doing the things that I do daily. I'm doing the comfortable things, and this is an outfit to do that in. So I will get to work spinning my next sweater. So maybe this sweater reveal will be something to go out and do frolicking in the forest. I guess we'll see. But for now, I am just content to be at home, to enjoy my new crafting space, and to do my favorite thing ever, which is spin yarn. I do eventually want to do bigger and fancier clothing projects. In fact, I even want to use my own hand spun and hand woven cloth in those projects. But I figure that starting with some jersey knit projects is a good way to get my sewing skills back in shape. If I can sew jersey knit, then sewing woven cloth is gonna be no problem because it'll stay put and it won't stretch and wander on me. But overall, I love this project. It was great, and I'm really happy to add these t-shirts and the shawl to my wardrobe. All right, friends, I'm gonna get busy here. Thank you for joining me, and I wish you all happy spinning.